ladies and gentlemen of the 118 scale, 3.75 inch, 4-inch modern action figure community. I'm back again with another video. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the Vietnam era, the Huey UH-1, and the door gunner, which you see before you hear. I'm trying to get them to stand up. All right. Without further ado, let's get into it. So during the Vietnam War, a problem arose, a problem that they didn't even know that they had, and it's concerning the UH-1 Huey. So back in those days, the UH-1 Huey was used primarily for, delivering goods and ammo and delivering troops to the battlefield, right? But the problem is that these things were pretty much box trucks with propellers. They had no armament. They had no safety. It had very minimal crew, unless they were carrying, maybe a brigade or a group of soldiers. It was pretty much the pilot, the co-pilot, and the crew chief. These helicopters were often bogged down and slow, so they were heavily targeted, and with that reason, they lost almost half of these helicopters during the Vietnam War. The injuries and death toll was devastating, so to speak. Because think about it, there's only 3 people manning this helicopter, but think about when they're carrying troops, So later on down the line, they realized that these helicopters were pretty much slow-moving targets. They were being picked off in the dozens. So what they did was they began to implement a side-mounted gun, and they had the third member, which was the crew chief, would man that gun. Another problem arose with that is that the gun was only firing from one side of the door, leaving the other side completely unprotected. So think about it. If you see this thing coming around and it's firing, all you have to do is get under it, get behind it, and get to the other side, and you have a clear shot at it. So what they ended up doing was they implemented a 4th rider, which they called the shotgun rider, and he would man the other side. So if you were ever wondering where the term shotgun rider came from, it's a term that derived from the Old West. And the shotgun rider would sit next to the stagecoach driver to protect him just in case, the posse wants to rob the stagecoach, right? So as we move right along, the second door gunner, aka the shotgun rider, wasn't enough. So what they started to do was they started to arm these things to the teeth. They started to put rockets on it. They started to implement miniguns and other different armaments, which again made it heavy and slow. So when you consider the dangers of these crews going out, you have to think of the age-old question. What's the life expectancy of a door gunner? Sad to say that 5 minutes. 5 minutes is the life expectancy. And I guess that was an old adage, just, at how dangerous of a job being a door gunner was. They were often targeted. They were, if they weren't tethered in, then they would often fall out of the helicopters during maneuvers and stuff like that. So that ultimately, the door gunner position was very much needed, and it improved how these helicopters moved through the battlefield. Also, they also installed like rocket pods. They had missiles on it, all kind of other things they put on it. A rocket pod, remember, they put one on each side. One of those things could carry up to 36 rockets in there. So again, made it heavy. So what I did here was I took a couple spare G.I. Joe bodies that I had laying around, and I decided I wanted to make door gunners out of them. They don't have a whole lot in their armament. They have a couple pouches. They have a couple, guns here and there. But other than that, They're pretty much plain Jane. So let's get a look at what I did here with these guys. Sorry. Anyway, so this is the first one. And as you see here, I used the Stalker body and I removed a couple things. Of course, all of his original stuff. He's got his radio, he's got his headset, he's got his helmet with the American flag on it. And back here, he's got a Marines emblem. I have to glue that down. Sometimes they don't stick. He's got some pouches, you know, just some first aid stuff, some extra things he might need. A little pouch with some jerky in it for those long runs and stuff. And this here is his tether. This is what he would use to tether him to the helicopter so that he doesn't fall out if they make a quick maneuver. And right here is a spot for another pouch or whatever I want to put there. I got plenty of things. I just haven't thought of what to put there yet. So just wanted to bring the video to you. It's not a whole lot going on with these guys. It's because they pretty much hang out the door of a helicopter. And that brings me to my next thing is that, sorry, I don't have a helicopter to show you them hanging from. But anyway, this is my second guy here. And he is made from the Dollar General, what is his name? Shipwreck. Dollar General Shipwreck. Sorry, I couldn't get that out there. So let's do a 360 on him. I did not put a mic on him. I will probably eventually later. And again, he has his tether. Got a sidearm. Pouch on his left thigh. And pretty much that's what you're getting there. Pretty plain Jane. Nothing really crazy going on with these guys. I just thought it would be cool to make some door gunners, especially after reading up on the story and where they came from. I thought it would be cool. So with that being said, I think I'm going to end this video right here. If you have any questions or comments, feel free, put them down below. I'll get to them at my earliest convenience. All right? So peace. Until the next one.